Are you ready to stop searching outside yourself and deepen the connection that matters the most?
Welcome to the Sacred Exchange podcast. We are your hosts, John and Catherine Graham.
After years of navigating our own spiritual paths, we have learned that true transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the honest and vulnerable moments when we are willing to journey within with a curious mind and heart.
Every week, we invite you to journey with us as we share our spiritual ahas, our raw truth, and deepen our understanding of the human experience.
This is a space of vulnerability and healing, where souls meet, hearts transform, and love leads the way. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sacred Exchange, where today we're going to be talking about miracles.
Yes, miracles. So the reason we wanted to talk about miracles, there's a number of different reasons we wanted to talk about miracles, right? But we take for granted a lot of things that are miracles.
Yes. Well, I think throughout time, humanity has come to think of miracles as being like, someone has a horrific accident and then you have 10,000 people pray for them and somehow they beat death and we go, that's a miracle.
Yeah.
Right? And we overlook all of these little bits of our day. And I was one, right? I had an idea of what a miracle should look like. And I focused on that and bypassed all of the miracles that were showing up in my everyday life.
Well, yeah, when I say we, I mean we, in general, as a society, we overlook miracles. And I think that, one of the big things, the course that we both took, right, Compassion Key, in the Light Workers Accelerator, they talk about your miracle and seeing your miracle and stuff like that. And, I think a lot of people are looking for that big wow. We don't take into consideration this works the way this works.
Yeah.
That in itself is a miracle. The fact that this heals itself, this has a preconceived idea of your next moves, and just the plants, light, earth, whatever.
Yeah. The fact that we have trees that create oxygen, which allows us to breathe in and to be alive, right? That's miraculous.
Yeah.
Or that there's certain foods that we can eat that nurture our bodies. It's miraculous.
Yeah. And if we don't pay attention to those things, how can we see the bigger miracles? Or
well, in A Course in Miracles, they actually say that there's no such thing as a bigger miracle or a smaller miracle. Mm-hmm. That all miracles take the same required effort. Right? And so when we think about allowing ourselves to just breathe, right? There's a tree outside that's providing us oxygen inside of this house right now. Mind-blowing. How does that work? I don't know. It's a miracle.
Yeah.
Right? And that is just as much of a miracle as if, like, I don't know, you experience someone having a life-saving surgery or prayers are being answered or whatever. All of it takes the exact same amount of effort, and there's not one that's smaller or bigger. In our human mind, we decide this is a small one, and this is a big one. And I've even used that language myself where I'm like, it feels like a miracle to me, but I understand to other people it might not seem like a miracle. So it's kind of a miracle, right? But it's, in my experience though, it's like, actually, no, that is a miracle. Yeah. Any change we experience, that is a miracle. Anything that we experience truly is a miracle.
Yeah, I agree. And we really need to, and I think we really need to pay attention to these small things, right? Yeah. It's the small details. It always is. I think, that any mindfulness course or mindfulness practice is just you really paying attention to that, whatever that is. That miracle that it is, and giving it that attention or whatever that it deserves, right? Like when you're, practicing any mindfulness task, you're doing it in a way to honor whatever you're doing. And I think that is a good way to honor that miracle, whatever it may be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember, I guess it was probably about 2 years ago now, you had this kind of download
Yes.
late on a Saturday night. And you were in this kind of energy. Maybe you can explain it to people better than me explaining how I experienced it through you.
Yeah.
If you remember.
You'll have to give me a little more context.
Okay. So it was essentially, you were like, do you realize what a miracle it is that we've met each other?
So, and sorry, yeah. The reason I see a lot of miracles, right?
Yeah.
I'm starting to like give those miracles the credence they deserve. But yeah, sitting there thinking about what the odds were, and just looking at the microcosm and macro of the world.
Yeah.
The chances, the odds of us being in this place and being together is so small.
Yeah.
When you think of all of the neurons and like neutrons, electrons, and everything that's out there, all the possibilities of what you could be and where you could be aligned with and what you could be aligned with and whatnot, that we are here together in each other's presence. It was just something that was like, we don't think about that with anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just here doing these tasks, living this linear life where it's beginning to end and blah, blah, blah. People come, people go. And we don't think of like just how important that one little decision that was made however long ago that led to this.
Yeah. Well, and I think we take it for granted too, right? We go, oh, you're my spouse.
Yeah.
So now you have to be with me. And now this is just the way our lives are and whatever the case might be. And the same with friendships that have been there for a long time, or siblings or parents or whatever those relational ties are, that we end up taking them for granted. And we forget, like, what are the chances that out of 8 billion people, we found each other?
Yeah.
Right? Or with 4 billion parents, that we got the parents that we got. And I understand sometimes it's like, I don't understand why I have the parents that I have, but they're the perfect makeup for you to come into this world and to become exactly who you need to be. Your relationships that you call in, they're the exact people that you need to have come into this world so that you can be exactly who you're meant to be. Mm-hmm. And it is so miraculous, but we do take it for granted.
Yeah. And I think for anybody, if you take a look at your family, your wife, your spouse, or whatever, and your family, your lineage, and where you came from, and all, go as far back as you can, and look at how you got to where you are today.
Right? Yeah.
Like one decision, one little decision to stay or do something different, none of this exists. And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's like super powerful, where it's like the decisions we make today are having the same effect in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these are all miracles that we're all looking for, that big, when do I get the lottery, or when do I get the new vehicle, or whatever the want is.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's a big difference too, is there is a difference between a want and a miracle.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes the miracle is actually not getting what you want. And that's a difficult pill to swallow. And going back to like our ancestors and every single choice that they made, and sometimes choices that they felt they didn't make, that choices were made for them, that allowed us to be here now. What a miracle it was that they were denied whatever they were denied. Not in a way of like punishment or anything like that, but it's like there was a grander plan at play. And we can look at ourselves being in a relationship now and go, this was part of their grand plan.
Yeah.
Everything that was denied to them allowed us to be here now. And everything that was granted to them allowed us to be here now. And also, everything that's been denied to us and everything that's been granted to us allows us to be here now. And somewhere, somehow down the road, there's going to be our offspring's offspring's offspring that is going to be looking back at us to go, wow, those decisions that they made, those things that were denied to them, what they longed for, what they couldn't get, etc., it all lives on in each of us. And it's like, that is such a miracle.
I agree. And again, it goes back to, we don't think of these as miracles, right? We just think of them as life.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, if we spend more time really looking at all of these little things, like even when you look at technology and how far technology's come, just who thought that this was a good idea to do this, or, you know, like, these are all things that we
absolutely.
just every day it's the same, you know, we expect this, expect that. And
well, I think we've gotten kind of into a I don't want to say a greedy mindset, but like a non-appreciative mindset where we've got these kind of quick expectations. Like, and I understand where we get it from. I mean, I can hop on the internet right now and I can reach someone from across the world in a matter of milliseconds, where I have a well, actually we both have great grandfathers that came across from Europe on boats, which took them weeks to be able to land in a new land. And now it's like, it's a 7-hour flight. Yeah. Or I can connect with someone across the globe in a matter of seconds. And so we demand these quick results. And I fall into this constantly. I know we were just talking about that this morning, how I do have like kind of a millisecond clock where I want to get to the next thing, and I want it now. And I'm learning to exercise that kind of patience and that divine timing of everything and trusting in this divine timing. But I do believe there's some sort of shift that we can make internally that will allow us to be appreciative of, like, wow, look at this technology. This technology is allowing us to speak to whoever's listening. We don't know necessarily who they are, or we do know who some of them are, or whatever.
Yeah.
What a miracle.
Yeah. Agreed.
You know, it's...
Yeah, and I think saying that, I think we sometimes rush. Like you were saying, you know, we get impatient, right? Yeah. But just think about how many times that, you know, a miracle was at play and you intervened, right? So, yeah, sometimes the things that we go through are not preferred and they're not ideal and all that kind of stuff. But behind that could be that miracle.
Yeah.
But we don't want this, but we want what's behind it.
Yeah.
But I'm not willing to do this to get that.
Well, and that's part of that refinement.
You know, let it go and go, yes, you know what? You're absolutely right. It's having that trust that, okay, you know, my thing I said, you got me this far, so why shouldn't I trust you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and I think for a lot of us, like, if we can see that when those tough bits come up, when there's parts of us that are like resisting how reality is showing up, to me it always, or now I should say, it feels like an opportunity for me to grow in some way, to allow that thing that I'm wanting to come in, right? If I'm going, this external thing outside of me is the miracle that I need to know that there's proof, or to feel good about myself, or whatever, am I willing to allow myself to be refined? So that I can be the container that can hold whatever the frequency is of this thing that's outside of me, right? And I feel like a lot of us go, I want it, but I don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
I want it, but it hurts too much to be refined. And so we resist it because we're so afraid of this uncomfortability that has to happen in order for that to come in, right?
Yeah, and I like the point that you made about aligning the frequencies. I know we talked about that, I think, last week or the week before, and I think that's another thing that we don't, pay a lot of attention to is you have to align yourself with these things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want this, if you want your miracle, let it happen. You don't have to do anything. You just have to be aware. You just have to pay attention to the things that are going on. Pay attention to everything.
Yeah.
And you'll start to see the miracles. And those miracles will attract other miracles.
Yeah.
It is just how things work. Look at nature. That is how things work.
Yeah. Well, I would like to add on to that too. Like, I know you just said, you really don't have to do anything to draw that miracle in. However, I'm going to also add on an alternative. Is I do like to ask myself, what kind of person does have this thing? Right?
Fair enough.
So if I'm looking for a health miracle, what kind of decisions are other people who are in a healthy body, what choices are they making that are aligning them with the healthy body that I want to have? If there's a trip I want to take, what kind of people are already taking that trip, right? And what can I learn from them that I currently don't have within myself, which again goes into that refining and it goes into a willingness. I'm willing to change who I am because my desire is built from something within me that's connected to the future of something I'm stepping towards or drawing in.
Yep.
But the current version of me is not actually connected to that thing. Otherwise, I'd have it already.
So, basically, I agree. And again, I'll say it. You don't have to do anything. You can just be guided, right?
Yeah,
so all of
enough,
the things that you're saying is, you're looking at and emulating somebody that's already in that. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But listen to your higher self.
Yeah.
That's guiding you to go, you know what, this is what I need where I need to put my energy. This is where, this is the example. So you don't need to emulate exactly what that person's doing, but you can just let your higher self guide you.
Well, exactly. It's such an interesting thing, right? Because it is allowing yourself to just be and go with it. And also, it's allowing yourself to take action where you decide to take action, right? And I used to be the person that was like, how many actions can I fill in while I'm waiting for this miracle to come in? Where now I do feel like it's, I'm going to call it aligned action, right? Where not that it's all effortless, because there's still things that do require effort where it's like stretching outside of my comfort zone and that sort of thing. But it's almost like the information comes in that says, this is the thing you need to do next. And so I step into it effortlessly to go, this is now a part of who I am, not this is this huge kind of jumping change I need to make.
No, and I like that. Like I said, you don't have to do it. Have to is my key word there.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. If you're not willing to get uncomfortable, you're limited.
Yeah.
Your scope is limited. And when I say uncomfortable, I mean, looking at yourself and looking at your expectations of life and what the situation brings or what a miracle looks like, or if you're not ready or willing to be disappointed or lose your expectation of what something looks like, then yes, you have work to do. Like, you have to do something to move past that.
Yeah.
But really, you don't. But again, it all depends on what where you want to go with yourself, your life, and
yeah,
there's always work. It just depends on where you want to put that.
Yeah, and I
effort.
mean, to me, it's like, if it's something I truly want, right? And there's step-by-steps that need to happen in order to get there. Because I could go, I want to go on this dream trip. But if I'm not willing to look at flights, and I'm not willing to work to save money, and I'm not willing to book a hotel room or whatever, and I just expect that the trip should just land on my lap, yes, sometimes that does happen for people, right? Yeah. But I would need to get a passport.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so it's like I have to be willing, and this goes again with that aligned action.
Yeah.
What are the steps I can take now so when that happens, I'm able to jump on it, right? There was something else I was going to say there. I've lost my train of thought.
It's okay. Yeah, and I think sometimes the miracle that we want is not the miracle that we need, right? Like, I think because you hear a lot of people, oh, well, this is what my expectation of a miracle looks like, right? I'm going to be rich, or I'm going to be able to, cure whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that's not what is in the plan.
Yes.
So that fact that this doesn't happen, it's setting that unreasonable expectation. Well, maybe not unreasonable. You have an expectation of what this miracle is. You want this, and it doesn't happen. So you abandon everything.
Yeah.
Right? Where there's bigger and other things, you just gotta push a little more. Like just continue to have the faith that there is more. There is a plan.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, when those things happen, that it's not our preferred reality. It's something that makes us upset or makes us angry or whatever. I mean, you have to honor those feelings, right? There's parts of you that had expectations that have not been met, or it is just a devastating experience, because these things do happen. But in those experiences, can you still see what is still divine and at play? Right? Because I think so often we either will bypass and we go straight to, oh, look, it was part of the divine plan. I needed to go into that pain and suffering in order to get to here. Yeah. So there's that one bypass that we can do. And also sometimes we can go, there's absolutely nothing divine here. This was all awful. There's nothing good of this, and now I give up completely. Yeah. And I believe we can hold both of those at the same time, and we can go, wow, this is devastating, this is heartbreaking, this makes me so angry, whatever. We can feel all of that, yeah, and meet those parts of us that really were holding on to a vision of what they wanted it to look like, and also go, where is the divine in this that I'm not seeing? What is the miracle in this that I'm not seeing? And in that, sometimes the answer is right there. It's like, there was the perfect stranger was sitting right there, ready to help you when you needed that help. That is a miracle in itself. And sometimes it's down the line where you look back and you go, that was actually something that pivoted me to go in this direction. And I thought I was headed in that direction, but this path that I'm on now is actually so much better than what I thought that path was going to be. Agreed. And so we have to keep our eye out for the divine, while also honoring whatever the human experience is that's going through the emotions from whatever those broken dreams and ideals were.
Yeah, and I go through this process, when there's a difficult thing that comes up, and it's like, okay, what is the positive out of this? What is the takeaway for me?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't like this, but I trust that there's reasoning for it. And what does this mean for me? I think it's a great idea to, look back in your life and see how many times or how many miracles did you actually have in your life?
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a conversation, actually a thing that happened in our lives, many of things that have happened in our lives that are miracles, but I remember one thing when you wanted flowers. And maybe you could just tell that story a little bit, because it is a miracle. It's like, here's the universe screaming.
Yes.
And doing everything but hitting you in the face with this miracle. So,
so I had been doing Pam Grout's, what was it called? Pam Grout's E², 9 experiments to manifest in your life. And essentially the book would give different experiments, 9 different experiments that you would try to see where does manifestation work for you and where does manifestation not work for you. And so one of my miracles and manifestations that I was trying to call forward was for him to buy me flowers. And I was like sitting on the couch and I was thinking about, he's going to buy me flowers. He's going to buy me flowers. He's going to buy me flowers. He did not buy me flowers. But I went to the grocery store with our youngest, and he was in like an umbrella stroller. And when I got to the grocery store, as we were going through, we were getting milk, and I was just going to put the milk on top of the stroller. That's important. And as I was doing the checkout, the manager came on the overhead, and the manager was like, "Attention, all you shoppers. Anybody who would like a free fall planter, feel free to take one. We're giving them away because we have to make room for our Christmas stock." And so I could have gotten a free planter of flowers. And in my mind, I was like, I can't carry the flowers and push the stroller and hold on to the milk and whatever. So I can't take these. And so I walked away from it. Whatever. I'm walking through the parking lot, and in my mind, I hear, "You just said no to flowers." And I was like, oh my God, I just said no to flowers. I wanted them from him, but whatever. And then a few days later, our neighbor knocked on the door, and he was like, "Are you interested in a 20-kilogram bag of flour?" And I was like, "No, actually, we just got some last week. We don't need any." And he was like, "Oh, I had to go gluten-free, I believe. So I've got this huge bag of flour if you guys want it." And I was like, no, it's okay. We've got some, and whatever, pass it on to someone who can use it now. And shut the door on him, go into the kitchen, and realize again that I've just said no to flowers, even though it's a totally different flower.
Yeah.
But for the second time in just a period of time, because I was so focused on, I want flowers from you, trying to will you to like do that, and denied exactly what I was asking for. And I mean, it is hilarious to me that at first they're like, "Oh, flowers." Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, you didn't want that? Oh, bag of flour."
Oh, you must have meant bag of flour. Yeah.
It was hilarious, really. And a huge lesson for me in don't make anyone else bring your manifestations to you. Like, don't get too caught up on who has to bring that. And B, make sure you're open to saying yes when it starts to show up in your life. Yeah. Because I think... Well,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, but yes, stay fluid, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't shut anything out.
Yeah, because it's all an opportunity.
And sometimes it's just, pass it along to the next person. Like, no, we don't need the flour. But like after the fact, you're having this reflection, you see it.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's the important thing, I think.
When it's a lesson that stuck with me too, right? Yeah. Where it's being completely open to, if I say to the universe, I want abundance, right? I need to be open to how is that abundance going to come to me. It could be we get an abundance of rain, which allows flowers to grow, and then I've got an abundance of flowers. It could be that a neighbor comes by with a bag of food that they can't eat anymore, or whatever. These are all signs of abundance. Or we get a coupon for the restaurant that we want to go to, or whatever. It's all abundance. But some of us will go, no, I meant that in 10 stacks of $100 bills. That's what I meant. Yeah. And fair enough, that could be it. But also, if you got so many coupons or you got so many free bags of food, would it equal the 10 stacks of $100 bills? I think, because we can get so pissed off with the universe, with God, whatever you want to call it, about when we're setting that intention of this is what I want, and we get so specific of this is how it's supposed to look, right? It doesn't always work like that.
Yeah.
So I think we need to have a clear vision of what do we want, and then be open to how is that going to come to us. But also, I want to say too, get specific about what do you want, right? Not necessarily who it's coming from, but get specific enough so that you recognize it when it is actually showing up in your life.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You have to be very intentional with the universe, right? Or I'll give you flour or flowers.
Yeah. Well, yes.
I'm trying here. I'm trying to give you this you know?
Yeah, and I mean, how many times do we in our lives go, I want people to be more loving towards me.
I was just gonna say
And
that, yeah.
then every time someone shows up loving towards us, we go, well, they didn't do this.
Yeah.
Or they didn't do that, or I already said that that's what I wanted, so now it doesn't matter anymore, or whatever. And we can deny that love
Yeah.
that's showing right up to us instead of just allowing ourselves to go, wow, there it is.
And I think the specificity of who you want things from is another thing that, like you're saying, you wanted flowers from me, and here's, because we do this too, where it's like, I don't get support. I'm not supported. Right? And meanwhile, the thing is, you're not supported by the person that you want to be supported by. You have all these other people that are supporting you, or all these other things that are supporting you.
Yeah.
But you're so focused that this isn't the way I want it, that you're negating to see that you have, and I've always had, the support that you needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, I totally went down that road, right? Like when I was a younger person and feeling a need for support from specific people. And I do see that key point now. I was looking for support from specific people who were also in states of struggle for themselves, right? They could not show up as the support that I needed. And yet I had all of these other people who were showing up to support me. And I took that support and complained the whole time about not having the support over here, right? And it was so heartbreaking to not have this support from these people that I wanted it from.
Yeah.
And it made it so, it's so interesting to me because I remember not really feeling as much gratitude as what a person could for those who were showing up.
Yeah.
Right? It was almost like, well, at least someone's going to, but it really should be them. And let me bitch to you for 4 hours about this person not. Instead of going, wow, thank you so much for being here for me. When the people I thought I could depend on actually walked away.
Yeah.
And it's actually another, I'm going to say, life lesson that I had to learn when I was going through my divorce. The people that I thought were going to be the people who would stand beside me and go through that kind of process with me, it was like I lost all of those people.
Yeah.
And then new people stepped in that had just been acquaintances, and we became closer friends as I went through that process, and did not expect them to be the ones that showed up. And it was like, wow, so I feel like God is always working to bring all the right pieces in that you need to be able to become that next version of yourself, especially when you're meeting a lot of endings or needing more support. You're going to get support from people who are actually capable of giving you that support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's whatever will be provided, right? So,
Yeah.
There's plenty of miracles out there.
Well, and I think exercising gratitude with that, I mean, I just gave a perfect example of where I just was not grateful for people who were showing up. And again, because we can get so caught up in things not working the way we want them to, or things not showing up the way that we want them to, or whatever, that we can lose sight of the miracle or the miracles that are all around us. But also we can disconnect from gratitude so easily, right?
Yeah.
And gratitude is this energy that calls in more things to be grateful for, right? And they say if you practice 30 minutes of gratitude every day, then it will absolutely change your life. But how many people are even practicing gratitude for 10 seconds a day?
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that it's a great point, and it kind of goes with the miracle piece, is everything is, and everything you should be grateful for, right? We should be constantly practicing that gratitude.
Yeah.
I know we do. It's I'm sorry, or thank you, or thank you, or whatever. But and I think some of the conversations you and I have had, we are very grateful for just this journey, this existence. Like you gave the example of the miracle I was talking about, us, coming together. And yeah, it's just, we need to be more grateful as well.
Yeah.
And I thought back in that same time frame of the miracles that I've experienced, right? Just to tell you folks, there's a lot of things that would say I shouldn't be here. There's a lot of miracles that I've experienced that I went back and went, wow.
Yeah.
Like being stung by all the bees, having a TV fall on me as a young child, falling in quicksand, having.
And he's like the only person I know who's actually almost died from quicksand.
Had, plenty of different little accidents or like little moments, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
There's purpose for me to be here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because you hear plenty of times on the news that, people that do have these mishaps and are not here anymore. Yeah. And that in itself is a miracle. I mean, this experience is just that it is a miracle that we get to have this experience.
Yeah.
And when it's done, it is a miracle as well.
Yeah.
Because you are returning back to source, and what happens from there? Hey, it's a whole new ball game, right? Yeah. So wow, that's kind of exciting when you think about it that way. Versus it's the end and blah 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 blah. It's like
well, and it's interesting because there's a lot of people, and I know I've gone through this as well on my journey of going like, I just don't want to come back to Earth again. Right? Like, let me just be done with this life, and I'm not going to reincarnate on Earth again, or I'm going to come back as a rock next time, or I'm going to come back as a dolphin next time, which those could all be opportunities for us. I have no idea. I don't have a remembrance of being a rock or of being a dolphin. But what I've come to kind of terms with is just having a human experience itself is such a gift. To be able to experience life, to be able to experience kissing. Do you know what I mean? Like, energy can't kiss. So to be able to be in a physical body and to be able to kiss someone, or to eat strawberries, or whatever, to drink water, all of these things, it's like you only get to experience this in a human body. Yeah. And how incredible is that? To just be in the human body. And it's amazing how much time I've wasted complaining about being in a human body and looking at the world around me and going, oh, this is the bane of my existence. My soul must end here and I must never come back, or whatever. I've transcended these people. Like, such like egotistical bullshit lies that I was telling myself, because I was in this state of arguing with reality as it was. And yet, on this side where I could go, I've met that ego death. And, I still have an ego, but I've let enough of that ego kind of part harmonize with me that to be in the human experience now and go, I actually don't want this to end. Yeah. I just want to experience as much as I can experience while I'm here. Yeah. Because what a miracle. Every single day is this miracle, and even being able to witness others, even when we don't agree with them or whatever.
That's the thing, right? Every little thing is a miracle. You can look at yourself, you can look outside yourself, you can look at nature, and every one of those little things, it's like, wow.
Yes.
Here we are. You could be a chair, and this is when you get to experience people sitting on you all day.
Yeah.
But we get this experience.
Yes. Where we have this freedom to move, to talk, to express, it's just incredible. It really is.
Yeah. And and I think the first, years of your life, not any of this is not by mistake.
Yeah.
Right? It is all for purpose and all has a plan. And I think it is the first however many years is really showing you all of these little things, all of these little experiences, and putting you through these whatevers and getting you to a point. Yeah. You should get to a point where I hope everybody gets to a point, I guess, is how I put it out there, that you truly see the miracles of life and that just how great this experience is.
Yeah.
Because we've all had those times where it's like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore.
Absolutely.
This is the blah, 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 the worst.
Because it can get so painful.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that would be meeting that experience and just getting stuck in the pain of what that experience is, instead of either going, how is this refining me for what it is that I truly want? You know, or what are the miracles that are happening around me right now that I haven't been able to look at, or I've been resisting looking at, because I know I've done that too, right? Where it can be sunshine everywhere and there's a little rain cloud over my head, and I just kind of take it along with me on a leash to be like, look at how cloudy and rainy it is here. And it's like, just let go of that leash and allow the sun to shine on you, and you won't have that rain cloud anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of us don't realize how powerful we are, and how we can simply shift just small amounts to just go, I'm going to let go of that rain cloud. Or I'm going to let go of that expectation. Or I'm not going to put all of my happiness in your bucket of buying me flowers.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, I can, well, it's the whole Miley Cyrus song, I can buy myself flowers.
Well, and here's another thing, is how many of us are preventing our miracles with that mindset, right?
Well, exactly. Because if I came to you and I said, hey, I heard that you were asking for an apple, and I gave you an apple, and you're like, I don't want that apple. And I'm like, okay. And then I hear you again go, apple, I want an apple. Maybe I go and I buy you an Apple Watch, right? And I go, here you go, here's another apple. And you're like, it's not what I want. Eventually, I'm going to go, you don't want anything I have to offer you.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm just not going to offer you anything anymore.
And another thing on that is, keep in mind, we're not just talking of people.
Yeah.
We're talking of the universe, right? If
Yeah.
you're constantly putting out there, I blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, just take life for the experience it is.
Yeah.
Preferred, non-preferred, good, bad, whatever terminology you want to use.
Yeah.
And it is just that. It is just an experience. But don't prevent your own miracles, right?
Yeah.
Don't get in your own way. Just let life, live your life,
Yeah.
and enjoy the experience on all fronts.
Yeah. And I think for me, one of the big kind of shifts that helped me to, I'm going to say shift in my mindset, was after the first Camino experience.
Yeah.
And because the first Camino experience, that was a legit miracle that I was like, this is my miracle that I am calling in.
Yeah.
And so when it happened the way that it happened, it was like, this is not what I ordered. And I had to go through the whole refinement, not very gracefully, but not gracefully at first. Let me say that. Okay. But there was that moment in time, and I don't quite remember what shifted it, but it was kind of in this surrendering moment to God, to go, I really don't understand, but I recognize now that I keep saying you're abandoning me, but it's me who's abandoning you. So let me find a way back to you. Show me the path to you, and let me see how this all unfolds from here on out. And that's where things started to shift, where it wasn't like this ugly mess of refinement. It was like, now I'm willing to take whatever steps you have planned for me.
And all you have to do, it's a great point, is all you have to do is surrender it to God, or surrender it to the universe, right?
Yeah.
It's just that, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's so interesting. Like, I'm so glad I've been reading A Course in Miracles, because it's helping me to shift in so many small ways that I was still holding on to like old teachings or belief systems that were actually hindering my growth. But one of the things it talks about is like the non-specialness that each of us have, right? So in the individual state, we're like, I am so special, and this is what I plan for my life, and this is the miracles that I call in, and la-di-da-di-da. And in that, we think my plan is more important than the universal plan or God's plan. And when we're in that state to go, I'm more important than you, actually, we're in complete resistance to what that state is, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to enter this place of humility. And that was a lesson that I absolutely needed to learn, to realize that I'm not special, that everything that has happened to me in my life has also happened to, there's 8 billion people on this planet. It's happened to everybody in different ways, in different ups and downs and experiences. Yes. So there's something that's special about me. There's something that's special about you, but it's not in our individual process that makes us special, right? It's when we can recognize our non-specialness, and I don't want to say our nothingness, but it's like to approach God, the universe, as this very humble being that's like, I actually have nothing to offer you. I'm just this broken mess of a person who has these wants and needs and desires. That's all I want. What I hadn't been asking prior to was, how can I serve you?
Yeah.
It was, what are you going to do to serve me?
Yeah.
Right? And that's that specialness. And in shifting it to, how can I serve you? And going, I really don't have much to offer. It's the Little Drummer Boy.
Yeah.
Your favorite Christmas song, the Little Drummer Boy. I don't have much to offer. I have this, which is just noise and nuisance to a new mom. But it was his gift, right? And that's what gave him his specialness. And we each have that specialness within us, but we have to ask God. I use the term God. Some people don't like that term, but we have to ask God, how can you use my brokenness for your divine plan? Show me how.
Yeah. And so how I look at that now, or more so now than at any other time that I ever did in my life, it was not so much as how can I serve you. It is, let me experience whatever you want to experience.
Yeah.
Right? So whatever my life is, however it unfolds, however you have things planned, however, whatever comes up, let me transcend that experience to you, so you know, universe, God, and this is my contribution to you.
Yeah.
This is how my service. And in that, I mean, there's more complexity to that, right? Because obviously you're in this human world and you're going to do the things. But when you think about that, is, okay, what would you want to experience?
Yeah.
You know? And we were talking a little bit about, you know, I'm kind of getting off track about miracles, but not really. We were talking about, you know, if you were an alien or something from another planet that was reaching out, what do you have to offer them? Right? So
exactly.
Similar, right? Similar, but you do.
Well, and that's just it, right? Like, I'm coming back to you going, you know, how can I contribute? What do you want to experience through me? And then I'm going, how can I serve you? You know, help me to serve you. And one thing that you didn't actually talk about is you also look around at the people in your life and you go, how can I make your life easier? Which is actually the same thing that you're saying to God. Right?
Yes. Well, that's what
Which is then you're recognizing in each person the God within them, and you're going, how can I contribute to you? Yeah. How can I contribute to you? Which, when I say to God, how can I be of service to you? It's also me going, how can I be of best service to all of humankind, including myself?
Yeah.
Right? So it's interesting because we talk about God, and even when I say God, I'm like, you know, as though I've got something up there that I'm pointing at. But it's like, it's all encompassing. It's right here in front of me. It's right here inside of me.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's something that's separate from us.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And to be able to recognize that within each other, that in itself is also a miracle.
Yeah.
You know, and to be able to see it in someone that you might typically look at and go, that is not a lovable person, or that is not a person that I want to associate, but you find that common ground with them, and maybe you don't even find the common ground, but you still see the God self within them, and recognize that they're divine too. That is a miracle.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing that we like to do, is try to find that peace within people, right? We're very quick to judge people and say, oh, look at that, or look at this. But we're not we don't put enough time going, but look how great this piece is.
Right.
Sure, this person's a complete jerk. They, did X, Y, and Z. But you don't hear, on the other side of that going, yeah, but, they did this, or they are this, or
Yeah.
there is in every one of us that piece.
Yeah, which brings us back to miracles, right? Where it's like in each miracle, yeah, there might, in every experience, there might be parts that are like, "Ugh, I don't like this, and I don't like this, and I don't like this. But there's something good that's there. And it's the same with everybody that's on this planet, which is wild for people to think sometimes. Like, they truly believe my perspective of this person being an asshole is the only perspective there is.
Yes.
And they don't think there is a mother who gave birth to this person who thought this person was the most perfect little infant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody has a mother who thought that they were perfect when they were born. And perhaps a father who also thought they were perfect when they were born, which means there is that divine piece within each of us,
Yeah, there's the saying, you're only this person to you're only you to this person, meaning like your perspective of me is what your perspective of is. It's not me, right? So
Yeah.
there's an infinite amount of me because everybody's got a different perspective. So
Yeah.
no one really knows me,
Yeah.
who I am. Sometimes I don't even know who me is.
Well, that's just it, right? And when if you're trying to see yourself through the eyes of everybody else, it's like, again, I literally just did a post on my Facebook page about how there's 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
And how we shift and change to try and make people accept us or love us because we think this is who you need me to be,
Yeah.
instead of just being our weird, wild selves and going, the right people are going to love me, and the ones who reject me, it doesn't matter, because actually there's 8 billion people on this planet, so why am I concerned about the one? And it's so funny because it's coming up a few times in my mind today about these 8 billion people. Why do I want to service the happiness of just one who's making me feel like I can't be myself?
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Yeah, and even it goes, a little farther than that, because that is somewhat irrelevant.
It absolutely is.
It's like, take it or leave it, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Really.
Because I don't like all things in this world. Do you know, there's like, you love your spicy foods. I don't care for them.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't mean spicy foods are bad. Just means my body doesn't like them the same way your body does. And it can be the same with people. In fact, we do have people in our lives that, you might care for them more than I do, or I might care for them more than you do.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's so wild. It's amazing to me that we shift and change ourselves so much.
To what? Here's the thing, right? Like, again, you're trying to meet somebody's perspective
To stop them from rejecting you, so you reject you instead, so they don't.
all the way, and coming back to miracles. As you're doing this, you're most likely getting in the way of whatever that miracle is.
Yeah.
Or some of those miracles, by trying to change, morph, and be something that
It's
you're
so much
naturally not.
energy.
And just surrendering that and going, hey, here I am.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just me. Greatest showman.
Yeah.
It requires zero effort to be 100% yourself. Right? And it takes a lot of effort to try and be someone that you're not.
Agreed.
Yeah. And I do believe, like, they actually say, like, authenticity is such a high frequency. And talking about miracles.
We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah. Talking about miracles. If you want to bring miracles into your life, being the most authentic version of you that there is the way to draw those miracles in. Mm-hmm. Whatever your miracle might be authentically you.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what our conversation was about that, but yeah, really, it is just being you. You know, we use that term authentic.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, this character in the movie, well, no, that's what it was. We were watching a movie and it was
yes.
like, oh, that character is so relatable. And I was like, well, they're authentic. And it was like, no, and they are, but it's a character that we all know.
Yes.
Right? It is that but really, they were just being them. They were just being that character that we know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a great movie. And such a great moment of it was completely authentic. What was coming through. Like, they were cutting each other off. They were kind of like in an argument, like a parent-child kind of dynamic. What was the movie called? Remarkably Wonderful Creatures on Netflix. Watch it. Highly recommend. But in this one scene where they're kind of going back and forth and they're bickering and whatnot about how cleaning should be done. And it was just so relatable from a parental kind of child dynamic. And it just felt so real. Like, I was just watching people in my living room, like literally in my living room, not on the TV, having an argument about and there is something so genuine about authentic experiences, right? Even our podcast, maybe you guys like it, maybe you don't, we don't know, doesn't actually matter, but we're showing up authentically. This is our real life conversation that we're having. We're recording it, we're uploading it as it is. We're not shifting it, we're not changing anything, we're not editing out all of our ums and our uhs and all of that sort of stuff, even though we're aware of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, this is our authentic kind of, this is who we are.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And that's our miracle.
Yeah, it truly is. Because, and I think that's one of the beautiful things too. I know when we first got into relationship with each other, we were trying to show our most polished versions of ourselves, even though we're like, you know, coming in with sacks of garbage that we have to sort through, whatever. But in time, it's almost like I would reveal to you, like, hey, I also have this.
Look at this garbage.
Yes, did you see this garbage right here? And, you know, you get your defenses up, like, are you still going to love me? Yeah. And you just kept loving me, right? And I kept loving you. It was like, no matter what this garbage is that's coming up, I'm just going to love this part and love this part and love this part. And I mean, we're almost 20 years into our relationship now, 19 and a half years into our relationship. And I don't feel fear around sharing any part of who I am or what my thoughts are or what my experiences are, anything like that. Like, it's just, you're someone who gets me. And that is the miracle, because the more authentic I've been with you, the more open, the more vulnerable, the more honest, the more real the connection has actually gotten.
Yeah, and we do this, right? Like, we do this piece where it's trade-off. It's like you are authentic, I'm authentic, whatever. When we surrender to each other, we do it more.
Yeah.
And that's not just that. I mean, we always have this kind of one-upmanship. It's not a competition, but it's like, I'll do for you, well, I'll do for you, or I'll do for you. And yeah, it is the miracle of love, right? It is.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know about you, but like what it's taught me in that kind of having a safety net where I'm met in my vulnerability, where I'm met in my messiness, where I'm met in my shame, and I'm loved for it anyways. Yeah. I can actually speak more openly and honestly with other people and not even care about their reaction anymore, which is a miracle in itself, because I used to be so like, I've got to keep everything a secret. I can't share any of my mess with anybody because they'll hate me or they'll reject me or abandon me or whatever. And you being one of the first people in my life that fully accepted all parts, and at times maybe not quite accepted right off the hop, but came around to accept or whatever, and ditto for me, for you, because we're only human. That in itself, it just creates a totally new container.
Well, we're giving voice to things, right?
Yeah.
So those issues and having that communication, it allows us to give each other the voice for whatever that issue is.
Yeah.
Then it becomes easier for us to transcend that to other people, because now we've given it that voice. We've we've brought it up, we've talked about it,
Yeah.
then we can move it along and go, here, I can help you with this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I understand that not everybody has an opportunity to have a relationship in the way that we have a relationship.
I think there's an opportunity and possibilities for everybody to have that experience.
Yeah.
It's really...
It's walking on an edge.
Well, there's work in it. There's self-work in it.
Absolutely.
And
it can feel scary. I guess, like, when I say, walking on an edge, it can feel scary to reveal your most authenticness to people. And
but it can be so rewarding in the same way.
100%.
So,
because it's like, I have no masks to wear anymore. Like, it sounds awful. I just don't give a shit anymore. This is just who I am. And what a miracle that has been for me to be able to experience in this life and to be able to express in this life, to just be like, this is who I am. Yeah. And I love me. And I love this. And I love being able to share this with others.
And I think that's another miracle that we came to the realization, right, is that we wanted to share this.
Yeah.
Because we believe in love and we believe in the miracle that we've experienced. Yeah. And want to share that with other people because we want other people to experience it as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it can be beyond like romantic love relationship, right? Where it's any relationship has that possibility if you're both willing to be open and vulnerable and to be even just able to say to someone, like, when you said that triggered me.
Yeah.
Not your fault that I feel triggered, but this is the trigger that's coming up in me. And to be able to talk about that, I don't think people understand just how fucking powerful that is.
Yeah. Taking the ownership off a person. So I feel triggered versus you did something is a very different energy.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Yeah. And maybe that's another topic for another day.
Maybe next week. Yeah. Yeah.
Miracles. They're all around, and I really do think we need to spend more time as a whole, as a society, as a community of this earth, and looking at every little miracle that's there.
Absolutely.
And just give it the time and the appreciation that everything deserves.
Absolutely. So, thank you, everybody, for joining us here again for another episode of The Sacred Exchange. We would love to hear from you. What are the miracles that you've been experiencing in your life, or what are the miracles that you're trying to call forward? Drop it in the comments below. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and we will see you next week on The Sacred Exchange.
Take care, folks.